Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus, and we are live here on a Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus. Another day, another dollar. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the um, you're not hitting the retweet button because it's not the right link today. But we'll get it figured out. Nonetheless, very difficult to do while we're getting the show started, but we'll figure it out. Hit the like button. We are promoting Intertops. Intertops, one of the best books in the business. Make sure if you're in the market for a new book, make sure you're checking out Intertops. Great lines, great payouts, great interface, easy to use. Been around a long time. Make sure you're using Intertops today. Donnie Rightside, how you doing?
Tuesday, it's hot as hell in here. Yeah, I'll wait till a live link goes out there because I'm not in the chat box as well till I do get one of those. But we'll get it figured out. We'll knock it down and have some fun today. But soccer's on the agenda, Jeff. Another hot day, as I said, here in the Northeast. Got Major League Baseball today, so a lot of good stuff to go over. And morning headlines should be interesting today because a lot of people, Jeff, throwing in that white towel in the season coming up for the NBA.
Yeah, this I mean, I'm trying to do the show here. I can't get the link out. We got to get the link out. Matt Tesaro, where the hell are you? Get Matt Tesaro to get the link out. Where's Matt Tesaro today? Is he in? Is he around, Donnie? Is he working today?
I don't know. It'll come out in a couple minutes here. We'll just have to delay it for a couple minutes on the show. Just go back and forth, have a little volleyball tennis, so to speak, between me and you.
Let's get into the show here. We welcome in everyone who's out there listening. If you're out there, welcome in. We'll start it out with morning headlines here in 1 second. What are we doing here? We'll start out with the NBA. Yeah, the NBA is a soap opera. It's as the world turns anymore with this league. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really. I'm kind of at the point with the NBA where I think it's just time to move on from it. I mean, as a fan, I don't understand what you're chasing much anymore. It's not a fun league. It hasn't been a fun league. It's been the same league for 3 or 4 years now. I'm not looking at this league anymore and saying, "Well, I gotta watch that." We know the outcome. It's not like we're looking at this and saying, "Oh, there's a lot of teams this year that can win." It's just a weak move. It just really kind of reinforces that the NBA that we knew is dead and gone. I'm not sure how they allow this kind of stuff. Um, I'm getting to the point, Donnie, with the NBA where, and I said this to Gabe Morency. I don't really know why I root for a team anymore. My team's never going to win. Doesn't matter. They're not going to win. They can go and get Kawhi Leonard. They're still not going to win. I'm at the point anymore, and this has Donnie been building with me for a long time. Barring the Eagles, and I'm going to come out and say something right now that I don't think I've really said before. I'm at the point now with sports where the whole like team thing, I'm like done with. Like I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of like investing my time and I can't. They can't win. There's one team that's going to win, and that's the Warriors. Why do I have to watch the season? I think the NBA is really going to lose a lot of viewers with this because no one's going to watch the regular season. We know the outcome. This is a pathetic move by the NBA. It's amazing this is allowed.
No, it's interesting when it boils down to it because the NBA is the absolute worst salary cap product out there. I mean, we all joke and laugh about baseball. Some lower level teams can sneak in there, but I mean, baseball has some of the same problems the NBA does. The big markets, the Yankees and the Dodgers, they don't give a damn what the luxury tax is or what they have to go over and pay. They're going to max out and extend as long as it can get them to a victory. Same thing in the NBA. Look how much, Jeff, over the last 10 years, NBA franchises has gone up. The Sixers, who were bought for like $200 million, are now well north of $1 billion since Josh Harris bought the team. And just to link it over to, let's just say, out in Golden State out there with the billionaire owners that they have new arena coming in, money doesn't matter to them. And the NBA players, Jeff, make so much money off the court. Sometimes even on the court, they'll say, you know what, I'll take $10 million less. Nike's going to pay me another $20 million to build this super team. And we'll go around and support you in China and around the world at this point where your actual salary doesn't even matter. But the NBA is a flawed and broken system because the NBA players run it. It's why the NFL is the absolutely perfect storm out there. The players don't run the league. Every single team, outside of maybe the bottom five, you think you can make the playoffs. In the NBA, you're looking at it. Last year, we could get away with it, Jeff. Why? Because you're saying, you know what? Great to watch LeBron. He'll come out of the East again. Let's just see if, we have that trilogy out there with Golden State, if he can hang around and beat that team. Well, now he goes over to the West to the Lakers. Now the East, why even play the East, Jeff? Like, you should just have like you like a lot in soccer, like, the EPL, or you have like, the FA Cup. Like, why don't you just have like the FA Cup in the East and just have the East play itself for the season and see like Celtics or the Sixers who wins that, and then just let the big boys play out West for the actual tournament itself, 1 through 8. And we'll see if we can crown a champion out West. It's embarrassing for the NBA, but they've done it for what, Jeff? The past few years. It's like last year, the Warriors. The Warriors were stone cold locks to win the NBA title. They did it. They're stone cold locks again to win the title this year as well.
And we look around at the playoffs. They sucked. They weren't good. This is a league that I think sooner or later you got to look at it and say, what are we doing here? I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame with where it was, 10, 12 years ago to where it is now. But you look at like this Warrior team. I mean, how short-lived was that euphoria for those Laker fans? I mean, you can't honestly tell me right now, Donnie, that what on earth are the Lakers doing? What is this they're doing? I mean, what do they really believe this team that they're assembling can beat anyone? I mean, seriously. So you go out and get
No,
LeBron.
to be honest, Jeff, I don't understand a single Lakers move they made. So you're gonna sign
No.
Rajon Rondo for like $10 million. I know it's for 1 year, but couldn't you get that guy for like $1 million? Like, who the hell wants Rajon Rondo on their team at this point? I mean, you put the misfit toys together, a brand of dumb. Like you put maybe the outside. LeBron is a basketball genius, but outside of that, that might be the dumbest team in the NBA.
It's interesting, Donnie, with this Laker team. I mean, they are the dumbest team in the NBA because it showed you last night how particularly stupid that they are. I mean, you could have went out and got. I mean, you were to Julius Randle, first of all, which I don't really know how that made sense, and you're still devoid of a big because I mean, look, JaVale McGee's a nice player, but he's not going to win you anything. I, I don't get it. I don't get anything they're doing. I mean, you can't honestly believe, you delusional Laker fans, that this team's going to win absolutely anything. So how do you feel? You went out and got LeBron James, and you're still a fucking 5 seed or wherever you are. I mean, come on. What a pathetic joke. They actually think that this team and actually, I'll take the Sixers roster over the Lakers roster right now. I don't give a fuck that they got LeBron James. They're the dumbest team in the league. They're that stupid. And you know what? They'll make some stupid trade, and they'll get rid of all their young players and bring in Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard won't work there. And we'll again have to hear how this happened and that happened. They're
Well, I mean,
fucking stupid.
that's the
We all
only
know it.
move left. If the Lakers get Kawhi, they're going to finish probably. I mean, if it's LeBron and Kawhi, they'll get the 2 seed out west. But I don't think Kawhi is going to get traded there. So
Mark my words, Houston will still beat them. The West is very good, man. There's a lot of really good teams in the West. It has nothing to do with who I root for. That don't mean nothing. It don't mean who I root for. I'm talking about the Western Conference. And it don't matter. They're not beating the Warriors. The Warriors will still stick it up them every single fucking year. And you sit there and you're in second place because you're not fucking good enough. The Warriors will beat you up in 4 games, spit you out, and say, get the fuck out of here. So that euphoric 24-hour rise you had was short-lived because nobody has any idea what the hell you're doing at this point.
yeah, I mean, I guess they're waiting for 2019, which I mean, LeBron's every year ticking. I mean, he's only going to go down. I mean, LeBron's still have a great year, but he's going to have to play a ton of minutes, and he's not going to win anything out west. It's just amazing. And also get back to getting down the boogie to Golden State in NBA free agency. He goes to Golden State, and everybody's getting all bent out of shape here. But keep in mind, Golden State's probably the only team that could do this. Boogie might not even play next year, or might only be 50% next year. But
Who cares?
If you take a flyer
Who
on the guy,
cares?
hold on. I mean, Boogie doesn't play next year. What do you mean? Who cares? Doesn't make any sense.
You
But if
spent
you have,
$5 million.
why didn't the Lakers? Why didn't the Lakers get Boogie? Why didn't Milwaukee get Boogie? Why didn't the Sixers get Boogie? He wasn't going it. He's in the perfect situation where you say, you know what, Boogie Cousins, come in and rehab for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. We're going to knock on your hotel room door in May when we're in the second round of the playoffs, and we hope that you could be serviceable by then. The whole oh my God, you didn't get Boogie Cousins of last year, the last 2 years. You're getting a broke down, hobbled Elton Brand style Boogie Cousins right now that if he gives you anything in the playoffs, it's a bonus, and it's only $5 million.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
That's what I mean. Yes,
Five
that's
mil. Who
because I
gives?
see people out there like, oh my God, why did he go to Golden State? Nobody wanted Boogie Cousins because you don't even know if the guy's going to play, and it's a 1-year deal. So basically, you're saying, Boogie, here's $5 million rehab, and then you'll go get a max deal the next year if you're healthy or even somewhat healthy at that point. But this year for Boogie, it's perfect for Golden State because even if he can limp up the floor in late May, he's going to be able to give you some rebounds and minutes in the playoffs.
And you know what? It's so great because the Warriors are so much better than the Lakers. The Lakers go out and get LeBron and they act like, oh, we got LeBron. Who gives a fuck? You're not going to beat nobody. Just face the fucking music, stop talking shit, and face it up. You're not beating the Warriors. So you did all that, and you get these bum-ass people to come in that nobody gives a shit about. Teddy B lives in South Dakota. Actually, he's a big fucking Laker fan. Get the fuck out of here
Yeah,
if you
that's
don't
what
like what I'm saying.
exactly. Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
get out of here. Beat it.
Yeah, but
Steve
he'll tell
Profit.
you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
hold
don't
on.
know
He'll
him.
tell you. He'll tell
I
you.
hate.
He'll
I
tell you
love
that
them
he was
people.
since Minneapolis Lakers. That's
No,
up
I
for
know. I know.
him.
Dude, I love these people. Oh, you didn't play basketball, so you don't know. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Listen, I'm not in the mood today. I'm not in the mood today. So
Well, I
test
don't think
me
the
and see
Lakers were
what's
ever
up.
meant to win the title, though, at this point, right? I mean, nobody
Right,
was
right.
expecting, even if they got LeBron, they were going to win. I mean, it's Golden State. Unless Golden State's team breaks up, they're going to roll 3, 4, 5 titles
And
off,
you
in
know,
a row.
Donnie,
They already got a couple as is.
and this is the thing about the NBA. I know my team. I've been vilifying my team for weeks. So it's not like I'm a big Sixer fan and I'm just mad. I've been vilifying my team for weeks, for
I'm not
years,
mad
for
at
months.
all with the Sixers. I don't know how you could be
You know,
mad at the Sixers.
right. It just it is what it is. Unfortunately, my team is not doing anything. There's nothing I can do about it. And that's why I don't give a shit anymore. But I'm gonna laugh because I laugh at all these people that want to be like, oh, I'm a big Laker fan all of a sudden. You didn't give a fuck about the Lakers the last 3 or 4 years. Now all of a sudden you're a big Laker fan. Get the hell out of here. Oh, you guys got newfound balls all of a sudden. Get out of here. Beat it. Um, we're all just looking up at the Warriors. That's all we're worried about right now. Everybody's looking up at the Warriors. You ain't beating the Warriors. You can try as hard as you want. I love LeBron. I don't think it was a good decision for him. He's not worried about basketball. We just said that. We talked about it, Donnie. I don't think it's a good basketball move. It's not about basketball though. It's about his life and brand, his business. That's what this is about. I don't think it's a good idea, but he decided to do it. I'll still support LeBron. I just don't think he's going to win anything.
No, I mean, I don't think he was supposed to. Again, we called it yesterday, though. It wasn't a basketball decision for LeBron James out there. If it was a basketball decision, Jeff, wouldn't LeBron have taken the $5.3 million to go to Golden State and just wreak havoc on the NBA and then retire somewhere else once he got another title? But, I mean, we talked about it yesterday ad nauseum. Now, LeBron going to the Lakers wasn't basketball at all. It's a great business move to set up his career. Worked hard his entire NBA career, got 3 titles. Most people don't even dream of getting 3 titles in the NBA. And it's a great place to live, to retire and have no stress. Again, we don't have to go back to yesterday, but that's pretty much what LeBron did. And kudos to him, man. You deserve a nice, cushy retirement with a $150 million paycheck on the line. It's nice.
Some guy, Andrew, Eagles are winning it next year in NFL. We're not talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the NBA. And you're trying to rile us up. Hey, by the way, dude, I'm not sure if you know, the current fucking champions are the Philadelphia Eagles. Beat it. I mean, they're not going to. Why aren't they going to win next year? Because you said so. Get out of here.
Yeah, no, like I know a lot of people say it's bad for the NBA, but I mean the NBA had a super team, which we all. I mean, didn't we all know last summer Golden State was going to win it? The NBA had some pretty good ratings all through the year, though. Even though we already had a predetermined outcome, the same way we have this year. The only problem is like the true fan that wakes up, which again you can always get back to the NFL in this. Like 16, 17 teams, man, wake up like, oh my God, we can really make a run at this on opening day. Let's have some fun. I can't wait to root on my team. I can't imagine like living in like, Jeff, like the, Phoenix area or the Milwaukee area or the Charlotte area or, down in Miami where it's just like, you know what? You wake up or Indiana, you wake up and you love basketball. Your team has absolutely zero shot to
Right.
compete. That's what's hard for the NBA to try to keep up with. You know what I mean? Like you should always have a chance. Like Portland. Portland has a monster payroll. They have no shot in the West whatsoever. If I'm a Portland season ticket holder, am I just saying, you know what? I can't wait till Golden State comes to town so I can watch Golden State play. Like, what are you waking up to and paying for in the NBA?
it's a extreme golfing talent, man. Really, it's unbelievable. From like the Brooklyn Nets to the Warriors, it's crazy. I don't.
Or
I
and you have to give kudos. Like, look at Oklahoma City, Jeff. That tiny ass town has a $300 million payroll, Jeff, and not a prayer to win anything. It's like, even if you're like an owner, like, wouldn't you be an owner smart? Like, dude, I'm just gonna let Paul George go. I'm gonna have Westbrook, and we'll sell Westbrook, and he loves Oklahoma City. We're gonna get beat anyway, but I'm gonna put some money in my pocket. That's even more hilarious to me, Jeff, is that a $300 million payroll, maybe the highest payroll in NBA history. And what are you, like a 3, 4, 5 seed in the West? It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, it's literally the same situation you just left. I mean, seriously, you're selling out and bringing in veterans and bums that aren't going to do anything. I mean, who's going to score? Who's going to play other than LeBron on this team? Seriously, who's any good on this team? I mean, Kuzma's a nice player. You got a couple of nice players here, but there's no one high level on this team other than LeBron. It's the exact same situation we just saw.
No, and also,
You're
Jeff,
not
one
getting
quick
up to
point on
win.
this. Like, I see people a lot of go around like, oh my God, why doesn't the commissioner stop in and block the Boogie Cousins deal? First of all, number one, it's free agency. Number two, the Lakers have been known to get over on the NBA, and for good reason, with the NBA being in partner with them. Same way that Patrick Ewing was gifted to the New York Knicks with the cold envelope, which you had to rig it. The Knicks were an awful franchise. You want to get the largest city in the country back in it, you give them Patrick Ewing. But also, we've seen over the years where Shaquille O'Neal going to LA, a mysterious change by David Stern in the salary cap structure allowed Shaq to sign a deal to leave Orlando and go to Los Angeles Lakers. Then you also, so let's not forget about this, Jerry West gifting Pau Gasol in his prime straight up for Kwame Brown in Memphis. And then the NBA tried to get over again, who they controlled, the Chris Paul-led Pelicans, to LA. And finally, the owners rose up and said, enough of stacking the deck to LA. This is ridiculous. That's why that move was canceled, not because of why free agency was. Chris Paul wasn't a free agent. They were trying to gift Chris Paul to LA again to form a formidable team to go on. The NBA has been known to stack the deck in Los Angeles. That's why people laugh at it, because it's ridiculous. Kwame Brown straight up for Pau Gasol. They should have thrown the Lakers out of the league and put them in China.
Listen, this is the last thing we're going to say, and I'm going to say. The Lakers are a bunch of fucking bums. They're not winning nothing. Keep looking up at the Warriors. Get the fuck out of here. Actually, you know what, Donnie? Keep looking up at the Rockets, the Warriors, everybody, the Thunder. Look up at all of them. You're not winning nothing. Beat it. Keep rooting for a team that's
and actually with this, all this free agency stuff, Jeff, there's no end in sight. Like, again, it gets to the point where these guys have so much money. Like, let's just say you max out on a deal early in your career, you bank $250 million, you're in year 6, and you say, you know what? I want to have some fun with my boys and make some money and win. Where is this going to stop in the NBA, Jeff? Like, is there anything that you can put into the NBA to stop this? Because I don't see it ever stopping. It's never going to stop.
I don't either. Because you know what? You know what's going to happen? To 2019, it's going to happen again. Kevin Durant's a free agent. Kyrie Irving's a free agent. They're going to all go. They'll all go somewhere and be a team. You know, it doesn't end. And if you're not a market that, you know, people, no, Charlotte, you know, those kind of teams. No one wants to go there. They're a useless franchise. And I hate to say that, but it's true. There's so many useless franchises in the NBA. I mean,
no, and again, like I see people say, well, you should only have one max slot per team. They don't care about that. Like, let's just say you have 100, like I saw one yesterday. Each team has $100 million payroll, but one you can pay off the chart. So LeBron James can get $75 million, and then you can build around it. Well, why wouldn't the next couple guys come in who really just want to win and say, all right, hey, look, we have $40 million to split. Let's just take an even split for a year and go out and win a title, and then we'll bounce to the other teams and get our $100 million contract. Like, it's never going to stop in the NBA. So there's no way you can get around it, move on. The old guys can bitch and moan like, we never did this in our heyday in the 80s. Yeah, well, you guys never made this much money. So if you could make $8 million with the 76ers when another team would pay you $2 million, that's a lot of money. But when you've already banked 5 straight years of $30 million, money is pretty insignificant for you. I mean, again, you're not going to take a $1 million check, but there's a big difference from banking 5 straight years of $30 million and then taking $26 million to go to a super team, you know?
I can't see the chat, so I'm sure there's a lot of great comments in there. I can't see it. I'm sure there's all sorts of whining about the Lakers. But luckily I can't see it, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, how can't
Donnie,
you
let's
see it,
move
but you
on.
called it? Come on. How's that even possible?
What? No, it just disappeared. Not even kidding. I can't see nothing right now. I don't know. It's just saying error. So you'll have to
Yeah,
update
parity.
us
Like,
on what.
yeah, it's a good point in there, buddy. Israel. The NHL is refreshing because of its parity. Most leagues do have. I mean, baseball does have the high market teams that'll get there, but there's so many players on the team in fluctuation that sometimes we see the Tampa Bays get in there. The Royals a couple years ago won the World Series, not with the high payroll can happen. It can't happen in the NBA just because there's only 5 guys and superstars actually run the league. Same thing with the NFL. There's injuries out there. There's parity. A lot like the bottom floor in the NFL is like, let's just say your payroll, Jeff's 155 million max. You still have to spend like 130 million in the NFL. You're going to be competitive week to week, and the NFL helps you every year, Jeff. You get an easier schedule the next year. You get the #1 overall pick if you stink the next year. At least the NFL's built-in parity is there to help you, whereas the NBA, I don't know, like what should you do next year to say, let's even out the league and play Golden State and Houston 62 times head-to-head against each other so the other teams can maybe get a higher seed. I don't know what you do about it.
All right, Donnie, I'm back here. Let's review some comments. Jeff, you're really making me upset this morning. You're a hater. Lakers will always be the best franchise in North America. Play me the fucking harp, dude. Get over it. Don't know how some of you like this fool. Can't see past his BS. Well, it's funny, Cody AV. You actually did. You were the one that joined me. Remember that Sunday night at Eagles Cowboys? You asked me to come on the air and I let you. Remember that? You liked me. But now all of a sudden you don't. I know. Because I probably don't give you attention like everyone else. Get out of here with this. Beat it. You don't like me? Don't listen. I'm not going to make you happy. But I remember you liked me for a long time. Now all of a sudden you don't like me. I probably hurt your feelings in some way. I probably said your team wasn't any good. Listen, people, I'm here to have fun and talk about sports. I don't think the Lakers are any good. If I'm cutting into any chords that you have because you said your little team isn't any good, get over it. My opinion. You don't like it? Sorry. What do you want me to say? I'm not gonna paint some face on because I want to make people happy. I'm giving my opinion. I don't think the Lakers are any good. If that's gonna affect you and piss you off, then you shouldn't listen. I don't think they're a good team. If they were, I would tell you. I don't like what they're doing. I don't think there's anyone on the face of the earth that understands what exactly they're doing right now. So, if that's cutting into people's cords, then sorry. Let's move on. A couple other free agency signings, Donnie. Do we have any other ones that we haven't talked about?
I would, who? I mean, obviously the Lakers are controlling everything. If you're looking at the Sixers, they welcome back JJ Redick. Got him for a decent price. What 12, 13 million when they paid him almost seemed like 25 million last year because they had that nice 1-year deal. So a lot of people ramping up, Jeff, with 1-year deals, hoping again next year to score in free agency and set themselves up. But outside of the Lakers, I mean, not a lot has really switched or where teams are switching. It's like, oh, we're going to get a powerhouse. Outside of Boogie going to Golden State, it's not really that exciting at this point. Woj just dropping bombs out here, and guys like Mike Scott, who I've never even heard of in my life. So that'll tell you the depths of where the NBA is going.
I think he's got a report on everything, but yeah, I mean, I thought that fight yesterday in that FIBA game was a lot more interesting than anything going on in the NBA. A couple other things here. Tyreek Evans, he's still up in the air where he's going. I thought the Sixers should maybe go after Tyreek Evans. That'd be a good pick for them from the area. Good player. Seth Curry, not Steph. Seth going to the Portland Trailblazers. What else do we have here? Any other? Oh, Julius Randle to the Pelicans. Pelicans a
Yeah.
good little team all of a sudden, Donnie.
That's a good move. That's a good move for Julius Randle. Like it's 2 years, 18 million, but it's really a 1-year deal. So he'll go there, make some bank, and then if he plays well, then he'll be able to go out and get that max contract like he wanted to. Surprising the Lakers did give up, but I guess the Lakers just looking to shed contracts and get 1-year deals based on what they're looking to do next year, whether they contract. I don't know. Is Kyrie going to want to all of a sudden go play with LeBron on the West Coast? Tell me this right now, which is always makes me laugh. Like the rumor that came out, LeBron reached out to KD. Why would KD go to the Lakers next year when he's going to win like 5 or 6 titles with Golden State and make max money? That one doesn't make any sense. Or why would Clay leave Golden State and go down to play with the Lakers and LeBron? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, who is going to go there next outside of like Kawhi, who says he wants to go? Well, you never know how things are going to filter out from year to year. Who's going to want to go out and play with LeBron as he gets older there when you already have these like super teams already built around you?
Donnie, listen. Here's the next super team. I'm going to tell you what it is. Here's my thoughts. What do you think about this? The Knicks, after free agency next year, they go out and get Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
But why would Kevin Durant leave the best team of all time, though? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I
that's
think
it's.
my
I
thing
could
would
see if he
be,
was just like, you know what, I'm ready to retire. But why would he come 3,000 miles west when he just has a built-in Cush dynasty where they just roll people? That's the only thing that's, I mean, I know teams can move around, but it's not like Klay Thompson and KD are both going to go to the Knicks with Kyrie and just build a super team. Like it wouldn't be able to happen. But I don't see
well, I
teams
think,
Kevin Durant loves Golden State. I don't see him just picking up and bouncing.
I don't know, maybe he wants to have his own team. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. But again, the world goes round in the NBA. I feel like it just keeps going. Guan White, don't. I'm not sure why you're joking about that. I'm a Juventus fan, so I'm not sure why you're joking about that. I'm not seeing that anywhere here. If you have any proof of that, I'd like to see it. Swiss or Sweden? I didn't give out a pick on this game. I leaned Switzerland to cover to advance, but I don't have a pick generally on it. NBA blows just got worse. College sports or bust. Bingo. Agreed. Good call. Big man, do you think Noel is a bust, or will he give the Thunder depth?
He stinks.
I think it's a nice little move defensively for them. I think Robertson's a great defender. I like Steven Adams. It's depth. I mean, Nerlens Noel is a solid defender. Is he a great offensive player? No, not really, but it's good depth. I mean, it's a depth move for them. Obviously they think that they're kind of Donnie coming in here and you know, yeah, got something to prove to the NBA. We'll see. But let's move on. We've talked about the NBA for a while now. We'll get into a little World Cup now. Yesterday, Donnie, was an interesting day in the World Cup. You have two games, one of which was kind of dominating. The other was one of the best games of the tournament, really. Okay, I'll check it out. Donnie, the first game, Brazil takes care of the Mexicans 2-0. Neymar, everybody had a great game. We continue to hear about people whining about Neymar diving. It's a part of the game. If you don't want it to happen, change it. It is what it
It's
is.
easy to change
Uh,
too, isn't it?
well, it is, and look, I mean, I don't think Neymar just really cares. I mean, Neymar makes like $18,000 a minute. Like, I don't think he cares
Yeah,
much.
but no, but
Uh,
yeah, that's not about the
he
players,
does.
Karen. But I understand like you're trying to sell like the flop in soccer because that's pretty much how you win games for the most part. Is the team who flops the most, you can draw a penalty, and obviously, penalty shots everything in soccer. But how about if like the guy goes down like that? And I guess you can't really video review it, but as soon as he goes down, you call the doctors over, and he has to sit out like 20 minutes. Do you think they would still stay down like that if they had to sit out 20 minutes?
I don't know. I mean, they have to. There has to be some sort of change. They've tried to change the flopping stuff, but look, I've often said, and I know people took this as like jokes. I wasn't saying it as a joke. Listen, I mean, sometimes it hurts to get stepped on or kicked or wherever you get. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it generally hurt Neymar. I don't know. Do I understand the rolling around? No, but listen, he's playing a game that allows them to get special treatment if they look hurt. The ref sees something different than maybe we see. Um, he plays the game. Donnie, it's like playing the game. My dad always told me, just play the game. Don't get taken advantage
No,
of. Just
yeah,
play
like
the
yeah,
game.
like I don't. I mean, it's part of it, but I would like even if you didn't have to take them out for the game, you know what I mean? Like let's just say he went down and the ref makes a split-second decision, like he's rolling around like 5 times on the ground. The ref like he doesn't have to give him a card, doesn't have to hold it up, but signals to like the doctors, like all right, it's 22 minutes into the match, he can't return until the 42-minute mark, but you're allowed to come back and sub in. Like you would have a 20-minute break on the bench. I think that would clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, they should do something, but we'll see if they do. Listen, I don't really care. I don't think it's that big a deal. In the World Cup, it's magnified because it's such a big event. But I think from club to club, during the season, it's not too big a deal. And now they're getting to the point with diving in the box and stuff where they can kind of sniff it out pretty quickly on if it's a dive or not. Let's see here what we got going on. 0-0 in Sweden, Switzerland. We're in the 32nd minute there. We'll get into a little Colombia, England here in a second. Uh, Yesterday, Belgium, Japan. What a game it was, Donnie. The first half was devoid of any goals. Japan comes out, scores not one, but two goals to go up 2-0. We watched it. Belgium storms back, wins 3-2. What a wild match. And I think, Donnie, Belgium's going to look back on that game. I think we're all going to say that was the game for Belgium. They bogeyed it. They still won. Now they're the champions of this tournament. Look how close they were to going out. Um, Belgium might have that special sauce this year, Donnie.
No, I mean, if you could just get a bottle or encapsulate it or just remember, like soccer can be a lot of fun. That second half had 5 goals and constant pressure up and back. Especially, I loved it once Japan took the 2-0 lead because you knew the avalanche was coming. I didn't know if they could get 3 goals or even get 2 goals or whatever would be back, but that avalanche of pressure finally crumbled them. But it's fun. Like 45 action-packed minutes is a lot of fun to watch because I know, like, look, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, and I can watch like Sweden and Switzerland right now, and it's the first half, and it's just guys passing the ball at midfield, passing it back, needling it out. If you took that out and it was constant flow pressure, it would be a lot more fun to watch. Like that second 45 minutes, Jeff, yesterday was just one,
Oh,
heart in
look,
your
I
throat
mean,
after another. Can they come back? Can they score?
look, it's like any sport. Look, you're going to have up-tempo teams. You're going to have Oregon and Texas Tech who go a mile a minute and they score a lot of points. And for some people, that's fun. Like last year, you remember when Oklahoma and I think it was Texas Tech or somebody played. It was like 58-51. I mean, people like that stuff. I mean, you up and down, but after a while, it's like someone going to get a stop here, you know. And then you have a game like Michigan and Northwestern where it's you know 14-9. It's different. I mean, you have different ways of playing. As far as these two teams, they're a little bit more conservative. They both defend at a high level. I think Switzerland is the better side because I just look it up front and I like what they have. I like Xhaka and Shaqiri and you know and the guys that they have up front. But it's different tempos. It's the way different teams play. They have different tactics. Some people, and that's the great thing about this tournament, Danny. You look at on Sunday, it's all about goalkeeping. The goalkeepers are huge. You're going into shootouts. Spain can't find a way. Croatia can't find a way. You look at yesterday, it's a little bit more open. You have all sorts of different styles, and some people, Donnie, like that 14-9 game. Some people don't. I, for one, like both. I like a high scoring game. I like a low scoring game. It's all about tactics. But good point by you. Biggest comeback since 1982.
Yeah.
What an impressive win. I mean, it really was impressive. I think we must get to the bottom of something. You really don't believe Marouane Fellaini is good, right? I mean, there's a reason he doesn't
Yes,
start.
Jeff, I told you yesterday. Look, put Fellaini
I
in.
don't
We're
remember
down
you
two to
saying
nothing.
any of this
He
stuff.
comes on the
You always
field.
say you
Yes, on
said this. I
Twitter.
don't. I don't
Always.
remember this.
On Twitter. I said, you got to have Fellaini in the game. Put him in there. Next thing you know, he gets subbed in, Jeff. 3-2 victory. I like the fact, like, not knowing much about soccer, I can see the distinct advantage, Jeff. When you have Lukaku up front and Fellaini, two physical giants in soccer compared to everybody else, everything changes because it seems like you can just put the ball into the middle of the box, loft it up there,
Well, that's
and
what they
those
do.
two dudes go after and get it. Like, why would you not want that advantage over a smaller team every game?
Because Fellaini is very one dimensional. That's all he can do. He can literally sit in the box and wait for set pieces. Like that's why he comes in. If you know who Peter Crouch is, Google Peter Crouch right now. He's
Yes,
the
I
same
love Peter
player.
Crouch. Had a great goal dance.
Um,
Jeff.
but
The
but there's a
robot.
reason those guys don't play. They're slow. They're not usable really anywhere on the field other than in the middle. They're older at this point. That's kind of what they do. But listen, Fellaini's a big kid. I mean, he's a guy that will get into the box and just do what he has to do, and he did that yesterday. But he is a bit of a liability anywhere else on the field. But for what he needed to do yesterday, it was a brilliant move for them to bring someone like him in. But from the standpoint of the entire game, you can't start him unless he's a game like they had the other day where no one cared or whatever. Um, let's
And by the way,
let's
Lukaku, Jeff, playing for Belgium. Is he a native of Belgium?
no, no.
Like, how did he get to Belgium? Like, did he come in as a refugee, or did he just claim citizenship there? Like, where's he actually originally from?
I think he's Congolese, I believe. Congolese, I believe. I think he's from.
Yeah, he's not your. That dude's not your normal looking soccer player either, man. That's a big cat, man.
No, he's a big dude. I think I would venture to say he's probably um the heaviest player in the tournament right now, and he's not even heavy. He's just a bigger guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
he's a linebacker. I mean, he's a big dude. That's why I love Romelu Lukaku. He's great. Yeah, he's Congolese. Listen, Donnie, there's a lot of play. I mean, you look at Belgium in general. Marouane Fellaini is Moroccan.
No, that's
You
what I mean.
look at
Like, how do they end up there though? Like, why do they end up there? That's what
well,
I don't
it's like any
understand.
it's like any country, Donnie. When you're young, you leave a country, you go settle somewhere else.
No, so I
Listen,
mean, like,
I
did he
mean, I
settle when he was young, or did he come over like when
oh
he was
sure,
26
sure.
and like this is my country now?
No,
When he was
he was
already good
born
at
in
soccer.
He was born in Antwerp. His parents are
Okay,
Congolese. They settled in
gotcha. Okay.
Belgium, and he was
Okay.
born there. Yeah, but listen, Donnie. I mean, you look at I'll talk about this quickly. Switzerland, for instance, their entire team is really under the microscope. A lot of the nationalists in Switzerland are upset because they look at the Switzerland team, and there are very few Swiss that play for the team. It's
Yeah, yeah.
guys that are from, you know, Macedonia or Congo or Albania or different countries that come there as a haven from war or wherever. Most of these teams
We got to do that in the
are
U.S., Jeff. Why don't we do that more in the U.S.? Start stealing other players from other countries and just naturalize them in for us.
uh, because the team sucks, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly.
Uh,
Let's get them here.
you know, but yeah, Lukaku's an interesting guy. He has a brother, Donnie, that plays football as well. Jordan Lukaku. He plays as well. Good family. Great player too. Big fan of Romelu Lukaku.
Where's
Donnie,
Lukaku's? What's his club team? What's Lukaku's club team?
Lukaku's club team is Manchester United.
Uh,
Um, Donnie, listen to Lukaku. He speaks French, Dutch,
mhm.
English, Portuguese, Spanish, Congolese, Swahili, and can understand
Mm.
German. How about
Dude,
that?
see, that's it. Now, look, that's how you get
That's
paid.
impressive.
Can you imagine that? If you are a smart athlete, right? Like if I'm an American and I go over like I'm Jimmer Fredette to China and play, the first thing I do is learn Chinese, I learn Mandarin, I learn it all. Do you imagine the money you can make as long as you're fluent in that language? It's amazing, man.
Yeah, Donnie, I gotta admit, you came out of nowhere with those questions. I was wondering, like, is this guy ever
What?
like? Does this guy understand immigrants? Like, Giannis isn't actually Greek, Donnie.
What's he, a U.S. citizen now?
No, he's Nigerian. He was born in Nigeria,
I don't know.
and he
It's
moved to
Antetokounmpo sounds Greece to me.
well,
Giannis.
right. Giannis is a Greek name, but he's actually Nigerian. But yes, that's a good point, Guan White. If you could understand and speak multiple, I think that is so impressive, man. Like Serge Ibaka, I
Yes.
find to be so impressive because he can speak like Donnie. Have you ever seen that interview? Like I think it was last year where it was after just some random NBA game, and he goes into the press conference and he sits down. He's got this like turtleneck on, sits down, and they ask him a question in English, he answers it. Then the French
Yes.
question asked. Then they ask him something in like Spanish, and he just literally boom, 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 boom. Like it was amazing. Impressive stuff
No,
there.
and
Uh,
the amount of money you can make, like it would just be like small, like your agent should get a hold of him. Like, look, I'm going to get you the best tutor in the world for the next year, and he's going to hang out with you there. Remember when Yao Ming came over? I don't think he spoke a lick of English, but all of a sudden assimilated himself and could, work his way around interviews. The same thing with baseball players you see for the most part. Like Odubel Herrera is a superstar in Philadelphia. He's been here a while, Jeff. He can't speak a lick of English. If he could speak English, like you would see him on every commercial out there in the business as an agent and as a business plan for yourself. Like if I had to learn, like it's funny, like Cuban heritage, I can't speak a lick of Spanish, even though I had it in high school and in college. But if I moved to like Mexico and was playing soccer down there, I would learn it in a second, and you would be ingratiated into the community. Can you imagine like a superstar athlete who could speak all those languages, where a fan of another country comes up and you can talk to that fan in their own native language? It'd be amazing, man.
yeah, it's a pretty cool, right, Donnie? Yes, it's
Yeah.
that it is. You're totally right. And that's why it's hard to learn though as you get older. You look at now, it'd be tough to
No, it's
learn a
that's why
language
everybody
because
doesn't do it. You're right. You are 100% right. That's why we all don't speak multiple languages, because if we sat down with a tutor or go through whatever those programs are in like 15 minutes, you're like, I'm done with this. I can't do this. But as kids, you're right. If you're ingratiated early, like under 10, they eat that stuff up, man. They get it. They get it down.
Yeah, it's always amazing how like little babies can understand like how they decipher what's Spanish, what's English, what's
Yeah.
Chinese. Like how do they know like what words are English? It's amazing how like little kids can do that.
Even the dialects,
Um,
depending on where, if you grew up in Staten Island, if you grew up in South Jersey, South Philadelphia, or down south, like you even pick up on like the use of the words and the terms and everything, and you know how the audit comes out. It's interesting.
yeah, no, you're totally right. Let's get into today. Today, I do think Colombia can win this match. If James Rodriguez is in there and he's good to go, I think they can beat England. I would be a little bit more interested in Colombia as opposed to England. I think a lot of people are just England's going to win. Colombia's not any good. Da 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 da. James is going to play, and I think if he plays, I think Colombia is worth a look here. Maybe to advance, you can get it at around 150. I like Colombia here, Donnie.
No, I'm into it. That's the game I want to see because obviously, the English are going to draw the eyes, but Colombia also a fun team to watch. But you're right. It is nice when both teams go head on and they're both going to be, 100% with no key injuries in this one. You hate to see it at this point in the World Cup, but I can see why Jeff Fox put this game on Fox Sports 1 and not on the regular Fox channel. I'm going to assume that England game is going to be on national Fox channel.
I would imagine it will be. Donnie, little language for you. I'm going to teach you an Albanian word right now. All right, and
Yig
this could be
Samesh.
imete, imete. You know what that means?
I do not.
Imbecile. It's like a moron,
Uh,
imbecile. There you go, a little derogatory word for you.
go. There you
Let's
go.
keep it moving and talk a little baseball. Uh, Donnie, why don't you lead that charge? What do we have on baseball today?
Yeah, let's take a look here. Let me bring up the baseball headlines yesterday. Washington paper champions, Jeff. And I list that with a question mark there because I think we're all waiting. You look at the lineup for the Washington Nationals, right? 1 through 8, 1 through 9, who they got out there. It's amazing that this team is still floundering. And look at the pitching. I know a little bit banged up. Strasburg's been out. Tanner Roark hasn't come around. Gio's been getting flamed. But the one guy you could usually always lean on, Jeff, is Max Scherzer. And I believe in his last 5, 0-4 in his last 5 starts, I guess, as it not himself,
Yeah.
but the team itself yesterday took another loss, a huge, minus 180, 190 to the Boston Red Sox, which is amazing because you get that price on the Red Sox. People just saw, oh my God, JD Martinez is out. No way Boston can win this game. Leave it up to the pitcher to get a 2-out, 2-strike, 3-run double, and the Nationals go down again. But bigger picture out there, we're waiting on Daniel Murphy. We're waiting on Harper to hit over 220 at this point. Rendon's been good this year. Now you got Adam Eaton back healthy. You got Trey Turner in the lineup. Default at the bottom of the lineup's been struggling, but you find Soto in there as like your 19-year-old miracle drug elixir in there that should get that whole lineup going, but it just can't seem to get off the ground in Washington, Jeff.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at this team. I mean, on the surface, you kind of think, okay, you got them hitters. This is a good team as far as lineups are concerned, but they just haven't really gotten it going. I mean, Trey Turner and Rendon have been good, but all the other big bats have really just been silent. You look at Ryan Zimmerman. I mean, his career last year was obviously very good. He's really tailed off. Daniel Murphy, he's been injured and hasn't really gotten it going since coming back. He's only hitting 203 and 59 at bats. Bryce Harper's having the worst season of his career. He's hitting a lot of home runs, but he hasn't been doing much else. You're not getting the same production out of Matt Wieters, Defoe, guys like that. Turner's been pretty good, but not enough. Eaton, I mean, he's been injured. It just hasn't really gotten going. They haven't gotten the same luck that they did, let's say, last year. Bullpen's average. Rotations.
Yeah, actually, Jeff, I
as
like
well.
their bullpen. And again, you're looking at what the Nationals do. They go out and get Herrera from Kansas City, which they must have a great farm system. And now they're looking to go get Iglesias from the Reds to bolster that bullpen. So they keep on making the right move, saying, you know what? We are stacked in the bullpen. If we can get healthy at starting pitching, and our lineup should work. But it just seems to not get off the ground. It's amazing, man.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. What else do we have here? Braves get a big win. How
Yeah,
about that,
big.
Donnie? Beating the Yankees. Braves, are
No,
you a
they end up
believer
yeah, they
yet?
end up beating the Yankees in that one. It's hard to say believer in that team because they have a great hitting lineup, But that bullpen is so leaky right now that you're waiting for them to make a move to solidify that pen. Because if you look down south at Miami, we all laughed at their bullpen. They have one of the better bullpens going around, it seems like, over the past month and a month and a half. And they're going to be some key pieces that are going to move, the Barraclaws of the world, the Connollys of the world. They're going to move on to other teams, Steckenrider. But the Braves, that 1 through 8, Jeff, is awesome. They can play whatever they want. It's good to see Acuna come back. And how about one of those injuries, Jeff, where it's like, you know what? How's he going to come back? Is it going to take him a month to get his legs back of him? Comes out swinging again in the Bronx. Really impressive win. And to think of it, Jeff, I'm watching last night that game. I'm like, you know what? Braves got the lead, but it's the Bronx, it's the Yankees. And what was it, Jeff? 3-3, bases juiced, 1 out. The unheralded Greg Bird, who just seemingly can't get it right in New York, strikes out with the bases loaded, and then the next guy behind him struck out as well. Nice win for the Braves. And look, man, that's a tough place to play and get a win, and they got one. I'm impressed by the Braves, man.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you, Donnie, Phillies or Braves, who wins the division?
Phillies or Braves, who wins the division? To be honest, like if you look at you right now, like let's just say nobody makes any changes from right now. I just like that Braves lineup more, Jeff, than the Philadelphia Phillies 1 through 8. Bullpen's comparable. I think the Phillies actually have a little bit better bullpen getting Neshek back. Sir Anthony Dominguez is an amazing closer. But just when you got to go up against that lineup, because when we look at the Phillies, Jeff, and I like to criticize my own team, there's a lot of stupid at-bats in the Phillies lineup. Cesar Hernandez gives you a good at-bat. Rhys Hoskins gives you a good at-bat. Carlos Santana gives you a good at-bat. But outside of that, you never know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis. Take a look at the Braves, Jeff, on a day-to-day basis out there, what they do with 2 strikes with their hitters. They got that perfect balance of speed, power, and contact. I love that Braves lineup, man. I think they would have the edge.
Reds, Brewers, Rockies, all comeback wins. Rockies, Donnie, get the job done yesterday. That was a nice play with Kyle Freeland. Brewers, Donnie, get the job done. But I'll tell you what, I've been getting banged around on their unders, dude. I've been getting banged the fuck around. Donnie, last night, right? So I went on my jet ski. My boy and I, we went down to this beach bar down in Strathmere. It's pretty far. It's probably like a 40-minute ride. And I was coming back, and it was getting dark. I had to really get back quickly. I got back just in the nick of time. I cleaned my jet skis, got in my car. It was 1-1 in the 4th inning. Thinking, oh, perfect. 1-1, great. I get home, I take a shower, I get out. It's 5-4. The fuck? Like, I just can't. Yeah, I can't get it going with this Brewers under. I mean, I feel like it's the right play every night. The lineups last night for these teams were just shit. I mean, you had just nobody's playing. I mean, go figure.
No, I look at that too, because if you were sitting, in that Reds game, White Sox, look, I'm going to take down a nice dog right here. Castillo got that money all day long. It's 3-1 in the 8th. You let it go away. One of the more horrific plays I've actually seen, Jeff. I think it was 3-2. I want to say bottom of the 8th inning, and there was a sharp hit ground ball to first base, Jeff, which the player could have A, just came home right away for the force out at the plate to make it 2 outs, or B, ran over to first base, touched first base, then threw it home to see if you can get the tag on. They end up getting no outs out of that play. And sometimes you just look at some baseball and you say, you know what, Jeff? Bad teams are going to do dumb stuff like that, and then sliding it down. The Brewers coming back after being down, I think it was 4-1 at one point after the grand slam. The Rockies out there, Bumgarner pitching an absolute gem, and all of a sudden goes up in flames, late game situation. So those teams hung around. The Rockies are pretty tough at home when it's all said and done.
Yeah, no, you're totally right on that. And the Dodgers get the job done as well. They roll, they kill the Pirates. I don't know what the final was. Last time I saw it was 17-1.
Yeah, 17-1.
Yeah, that was ugly. According to ESPN FC, who I think Guan White talked about this, Real Madrid down here ready to accept a $100 million offer from Juventus for Cristiano Ronaldo. Juve, Forza Juve, going out for Ronaldo. Donnie, my favorite player, Ronaldo, might be coming to Juventus. How about that? Coming to the Italian league, baby.
That's like LeBron, Jeff, over the hill when he's going.
No, Ronaldo's not over the hill yet. Settle down. Neither is LeBron. They're not.
By the way, Jeff, watching games last night, right? You go like baseball is like you have to. It ages you, the baseball grind season. Jeff, it's probably like sitting in a poker room for like 48 straight hours, where every single hand you're grinding and bluffing and trying to read people. Watching the Marlins game last night, I'm on the Marlins plus 118. So I'm like, you know what? Chen has been good at home. I'm going to take a flyer. Everybody's loading up, and Eovaldi hasn't been the greatest pitcher. Fast forward, it's 2-1, Jeff, in the ninth inning. So you check to see who's coming in, and again, the Marlins have a decent bullpen. So I'm going over the back numbers for Barraclough. I know he's a good reliever, so I'm like, dude, finally, like I don't have some chump ass closer or chump ass bullpen guy coming in to try to close out this game. 20 straight appearances, Jeff, without an earned run for Barraclough. To make a long story short, he gives up a 2-run double that gets in the line by 6 inches, and they go to extras. And we know how hot it is on the East Coast, Jeff. I shut the TV off, left my house, took my phone, and walked like 3 miles in the heat, dripping sweat because I couldn't take it anymore. They end up coming back with a win off Stanek, which is impressive by the Marlins in extras. But my goodness, man, like when you have like one of those like, oh my God, he doesn't give up anything. And next thing you know, you're tied up in the ninth, man. It was just baseball is unbelievable, man, to be a part of.
Have to admit, I'm glad I missed it, Donnie. Let's get into today's games, and we'll wrap up the show.
Yeah, real
Donnie,
quick there. No, yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Listen, I don't know if we have to finish at 10:55 today because there's no sports bet.
Yes, we do.
So.
Yes,
No. Let's try to get some good predictions. We'll do 5 more minutes. What do we got here?
All right, going over, Jeff, we'll go right back up to the Bronx. It seems to be like a decent series to take a look at. We're going to go Braves and the New York Yankees. Newcomb on the mound versus Herman, 61% of the early wagers, Jeff. Actually coming in on the Atlanta Braves. And I think the reason being, Jeff, is because they're getting 165, 168 across the board. People just taking a flyer at this point. But there's a reason why that line opened that high. Because if you're just looking between the two pitchers, you're going to say, yes, Newcomb's the better one. But we all know the Yankees in the Bronx, Jeff. They like to get after left-handed pitching. They're going to stack the right-hand side. Do you see a second straight win here by the Atlanta Braves as a big dog again?
I mean, I'm not sure why you wouldn't take a shot with them. I mean, they're a good team. I'm not wanting to lay 165 with Herman. I mean, Atlanta has been pretty good on the road. They're 26-17, and Sean Newcomb has been very good. Obviously, this is a different kind of atmosphere. It's hot. It's humid. It's that pond box in New York. It's tough, but yeah, I would probably take a shot with the Braves here. Why not? Newcomb's been great, and Braves are playing good baseball. Anytime I think you can take them. You got to ask yourself, though, does this look like a bit of a ploy? To me, it does. I think a lot of people look at this game and say, wow, I can get Atlanta plus 165. I don't really like German a ton, but then you have those Yankee people like, you know what? It's the Braves, the Yankees. I'll take the Yankees. I think there's a little value here in Atlanta. I would, if I'm going to play this one, it'd be Atlanta.
No, and what do you look like? Like it's good because we have a couple more minutes. You're right. Sportsbet's not on today, so we'll go at least another 10 minutes here. We'll have some fun. But looking at the game, like getting into, because a lot of times we get shortchanged here where we can't actually cap the games. It's not a bad thing because you don't have a lot of information on Major League Baseball. You know me, I like to wait to the rest of the day. But when you take a look at a dog, what do you look for in a dog? Yes, it's hard. Like when you go up against Max Scherzer yesterday, what do you need? Like it can't be like the Marlins lineup, technically. You know what I mean? You need the Boston Red Sox. You need a competent starter on the other side. You need a decent bullpen on the other side. You need a lineup that can hit if they're in a pinch and you have some guys that can do it. When you take a look at the Atlanta lineup today, Jeff, yes, we know the New York Yankees are formidable. 1 through 9, they are going to get after you. They have a really good bullpen. But Atlanta, Jeff, is going to go up there and give good at-bats. And again, you're not facing, Clayton Kershaw compared to Herman on the mound out there. So when you look at taking a nice number down, you can live with it and say, you know what? I'm going to get 9 solid at-bats out here, a decent start. And if it's 3-2 in the 7th inning, the dog did its job because you'll see if they can come back and win that game. But that's what I like to look at. We all say, like, from a value perspective, it's not just saying I'm going to take Kansas City because I'm going to be a public fade. Like, what are you going to get out of that starter and out of that lineup is what I like to look for. And the Braves, you're right, do have a lot of that today, Jeff.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot for sure. I mean, I'm not really one to fade the Yankees. It's not really my thing. But, I mean, German's pitched well. He's pitched poor. He's kind of been, average, really. And I don't think he really warrants laying this kind of number. But I'd consider it here. Donnie, by the way, before we get to the last 2 games, I did want to get to our favorite July 4th foods. But as always, we don't have enough time. But, maybe.
Well,
maybe
why don't we say that for July 4th tomorrow? Tomorrow's roundtable edition on the 4th of July. Tomorrow, Jeff, will be all about food and ranking them and handicapping the food. Because tomorrow, usually what do we like to go over, Jeff? We like to go over baseball, football. Tomorrow, we are breaking down the hot dog competition for 1 full hour tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. Absolutely.
Well, I was just wanted to do it as like a top five list. I don't want to upset the
No,
roundtable flow, but you know, it's food. We're always thinking about that, right? Angels Mariners, Donnie. What do we got there?
yeah, Angels Mariners, interesting one, Jeff. Two guys not in, like, Jeff, I'm going to use a soccer term, not in good form right now. I like to use that now since the World Cup's going on. 9-11, 9-12, Heaney and LeBlanc, two lefties on the mound, both scraped up in their past couple starts. We all know how good that Seattle Mariners lineup is, now healthy once again. But they are going up against a lefty. I usually like to see them a little bit more against the right-hand bats. But when you're looking at the Angels, what do, Jeff? They can stack right-handed bats up against you. But the one thing that you like to take a look at, if you're looking split-wise, LeBlanc on the road versus at home. And I seem to think, Jeff, you could get out there in that big-ass ballpark in Seattle and give us a good 5 to 6 innings, maybe some two-run ball out there. LeBlanc, much different at home than he is on the road. But I want to see that Angels lineup, what they're going to come into tonight, because he can be touched up a little bit. But also, are you going to flip back and say, dude, hold on, this is the Mariners at home and I'm going to get minus 112? Sign me up.
Yeah, I don't think I could do what you just said, but I guess we could think I could maybe. Listen, the Angels aren't hitting right now. I don't want Heaney on the road. This is very simple for me. I like what the Seattle Mariners do against left-handed pitchers. I like what Wade LeBlanc does at home. I'm on Mariners here. I like this side. They've won 4 of 6 this year against that Angels team. The Angels have faded pretty fast. And look, Seattle's 8-3 when LeBlanc pitches. There's something good going on when he pitches. He's been very good. You have to be impressed with him, other than that one outing at Boston. But listen, going to Boston, a lot of teams do that too. I would go with the Mariners here. I think this is pretty cut and dry.
Jeff, also, Buddy Israel is right. Tout's giving out Joey Chestnut tomorrow. There are a lot of 5-star double max wagers tomorrow that are opening up with Joey Chestnut tomorrow, Jeff, like minus 1 million.
Well, listen, we can laugh and make jokes about it, but at the end of the day, Joey Chestnut's he wins every year. I mean, from what I've read, I've read some articles about sharp bettors. They bet Joey Chestnut as soon as the number comes out. I mean, listen, it's competitive eating is it's fascinating.
It's amazing,
really. I mean,
to say the least. Yes, it's amazing.
yeah,
It's fascinating.
look,
I don't understand it. I see the science and the technology that these guys use and how they stretch their stomachs out just to get ready for the competition, and it still baffles my mind that the amount of food they can actually eat, keep it down. I don't get it. I can't. I don't even get it.
Donnie, it's interesting because I'm a bigger guy, as you can see, and I think people will be quite. I think, Donnie, let's say when you see me and when people see me out in Vegas, I think they'll be quite surprised that I really don't eat a ton. I don't eat a lot of food. I just eat a lot of the wrong food and at the wrong times. And I don't have a particularly good metabolism, I think, as it is. But I don't understand how they do that. I mean, I've over the last few months done. I think the goal with, let's say, eating right, and where I'm kind of getting to is I needed to make better life choices as far as little things that I'm doing. Starting to look at labels, getting the right nutrients, you're getting the right amount of fiber, that kind of stuff. I don't really, and this is my concern on the competitive eaters. How does that work from a standpoint of the next day? Because like the hot dogs have to leave, don't they? That's got to be disastrous.
No, you're right. I always say that, like, because we have in Philadelphia, Jeff, which a lot of people, I mean, it may know now because it usually gets national headlines. Wing Bowl here. Like, imagine eating a few hundred wings. Like, how does that set up your life over the next?
I don't need hot
days,
sauce at all anymore. Yeah, I don't need hot dog. I don't need hot sauce at all anymore. I'm not good with. I don't like the spicy. It fucks up your stomach. I'm just not interested in it. Yeah, that's the big thing, Hamburg. Jim Rome. I mean, sugar's a tough one. But Donnie, last night on Shark Tank, I think I have an idea on my new in the morning. I'm always skeptical on what to eat in the morning. The breakfast is a tough thing. I was watching on Shark Tank last night. These two girls, they had a great idea. It was this oatmeal that came in this like little tube.
Okay.
It was like yogurt almost.
Oatmeal?
And
Mm-hmm.
you just eat it. It's high in fiber. It's got all these nutrients. It was a really cool idea. I mean, stuff like that is really kind of cool. No, I stopped eating late at night. I stopped a few weeks ago. I don't eat after like 9 o'clock anymore. But yeah, that's a tough one because you go right to sleep.
No, Don
But
Reese is
yeah,
right. He is right. Stopped eating after 8 o'clock. Drop 15 pounds in 6 weeks. The old adage is, you can wake up since you're just getting out there. You can eat a lot at breakfast and you try to taper off as the day goes. I gain a lot of weight in the winter because I like to walk around the neighborhood with the dog, and when it's 20 degrees, I don't really enjoy that. So in the summer, I'll put a couple miles in because Jeff and I are the same, and a lot of you out there, gamblers, suspicion wise, or being can't watch the games. I walk a ton with my phone in my hand because I can't bear to be in the house to actually watch the goddamn game live unless it's like a big key pivotal moment that I need. So I tend to go really up in the winter. Like I was 232 pounds around the Super Bowl time, which I'm now down to 205 again. So I fluctuate wildly from summer to winter.
I think that's one thing about down here, Donnie. I've been here for 3 weeks now, and being here, like I really start to like when I go to my jet ski. I always ride my bike. I have like a beach bike, which I'm sure people would love to see me on that thing. We got to get you, Donnie, on the jet ski, man. I'd like to see that. That would be
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
fun.
love I love jet skis, wave runners. Yeah.
Dude, yesterday, Donnie, what a weird dude. I don't know if you ever like what it's obviously super hot. Like the ocean's pretty warm too. And the bay and the ocean are warm. Like it's pretty shitty combination, really. There's no real relief, but I think today it's a little nicer. It's not as humid, but we'll look to wrap it up here. Obviously, we went a little late here, but um, when you're off for an entire month, we'll slide in and take a spot a little bit, right, Donnie? We're back
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah.
We'll be on here live for the roundtable. I'm sure we'll talk more great content. Donnie, also I want to plug one thing here on the channels. I thought it was some really good work last night. I joined Drew Martin for Marketology. I thought it was a really good conversation. We didn't just talk about sports betting. We talked about a lot of just experiences and kind of how you do things and what Drew looks for, what we all look for as football kind of comes. And Donnie actually dropped your name. Drew Martin asked me if I
Hmm.
thought the NFL was still beatable, and I told him I didn't think it was, but I said Donnie
I've been
Wrightsid's been
told
able to do
I've
it.
been told to my face it's not beatable no matter what you do in the NFL. I like to challenge that every year.
I've also heard that college basketball is unbeatable. You can't win.
Ooh,
If you
can
bet college basketball, you stink. All this stuff. Um, Take a listen to Marketology. It was a good conversation. We talked some World Cup as well. I enjoyed it. That's it for us. Appreciate SBR for hosting. Uh, Listen,
Hmm?
guys, don't get. I saw a lot of people exit the show after the Laker talk. Listen, I'm just acting and giving my opinion. Uh, I hope I hope you all have success. I have nothing bad to say. I just don't think it will work. I don't like what they're doing. That's all. I didn't mean to hit a chord, and if you took it literally, what can I do? Donnie, great stuff. Thanks. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow here in the roundtable. Have a great day.
Peace.